the freedom. So I want everyone to be really clear about this, okay? Think about for a second, what is it that actually is the primary driver right now? Are you thinking about all the things that you don't like? Yeah, I hate this, I need to get out, I don't have enough money, can't do this. Or are you driven every morning by, I've got a real passion, a real desire to build a business, to help people, to change the world, to, you know, travel, to live remotely? So think about it. That's a really important distinction, because often getting out of the rat race, it will be a bad time. It'll be like, oh, I can't take enough. Yeah, but then you realize, I think you said, Sophia, you know, quit the job and then suddenly go,
my money goes down.
Shit, yeah, like, you know, you're the boss of you, and no one really properly prepares you. I totally remember the first few months of when you quit your job and suddenly you don't have a boss kicking your ass every day. You don't have someone saying, you know, where are you? You don't have the pressure of just having to work and get stuff done. You're the boss of you. You have to decide what's important that day. You have to go out and sell. You have to wear all the different hats. And that is difficult. That is really hard, which is why the process I've put together at Escape the Rat Race is about you getting educated whilst you still got the job. So start generating some income, whether it's property, whether it's a business idea, because there probably will be a period of time where you'll test things out. You know, you'll think that you maybe want to do one strategy, you'll test it out, you'll do it, maybe it works, great, maybe it doesn't, but it's not the end of the world. You know, you haven't just quit your job and then suddenly, you know, you're putting yourself under loads of pressure because you've got bills to pay, you know, husband or wife screaming at you. So important point there. I'll give you a bit of my backstory. So I used to work in the music industry. I quit at the end of 2014, and I knew the value of having a network around me, and for 16 years I had a very successful career in the music industry, and I kind of had all my contacts in that area, and I knew that I was going to move out, and my plan was to go into property that first year, and I thought I need to build a new network, people that are in the property world. I've always been a big fan of personal development, so I set up I found the group Meetup.com website, which is where I set up Escape the Rat Race within 12 months. And I remember it was 2014, it was a November, Sunday evening, cold, wet. I was in a coffee shop, and I had about a month left before I was leaving my job. And I was searching for like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure most of you, yeah, you've read the book. And I wasn't really finding much. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna set a group up. And I just, Escape the Rat Race just came from my head, probably because I was thinking about Kiyosaki. And that's it, registered the group. And when you set a meetup group, you have to pick a date for the first event. And so I thought, I don't know, 14th of January, 2 weeks, you know, after my new life as a business owner. And I thought, if, you know, 4 or 5 people come along to that event, you know, that would be great. We can talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad and just like share some ideas. And 40 people turned up to that first meetup that night, and Rohit was the very first person there that night, and it was a real good night, wasn't it? Yeah. It was cool. And yeah, I just had a little area at the hotel, and suddenly more and more people, I was like, damn, we need to get a room. And so we quickly negotiated, and it all turned out fine. And I realized after that night, I have to do it again. You know, we've got so many good people that turned up. We had such a good conversation. Everyone was hungry for ideas, you know, and I thought, well, we've got to do it again next month. So I said, all right, we'll do one next month. And then another 40 people came. And I've done a meetup every month, pretty much every month since then. And this is now 4 years ago. So tonight is Escape the Rat Race 31. Vanish challenged me actually early on. He said, pick a number. How many meetups are you going to do? I said, all right, I'll do 50. You know, and at the time I was like, 50? Like, absolutely, no way, that seems so far away. And tonight we're at 31, okay? So I'm on my journey, I'm committed to my journey, but I'm also committed to everyone here. I'm committed to your journey as well. So that's why I really want to get to know all of you and see if I can help you in any way. And I will be inviting you all at the end as well to fill out some forms, put your phone number down, and I'll have a follow-up call with all of you, okay? So we'll schedule some time over the next few days, and we'll have a one-to-one. You can tell me what it is that, you know, if you need to speak to anyone in particular, if you want to learn about something, and I'll do whatever I can to help you out, okay? But whatever that end goal is for you, this is why we talk about your vision, being so clear about what does winning mean to you? What's the whole reason that you're doing this for? You know, is it more time with family? Is it more money? Is it just less stress? You want to travel? Whatever that is that end goal. And when you're clear about that, then every day you are motivated because you know that every day you're taking a step closer and closer and closer. And hopefully, you know, what I've done here is bring the mentors and the people that can help you get clear about that, myself included, and then we can help you put that plan together so you get there as quickly as possible, as safely as possible. All right, your escape plan, should you choose to accept it, is to come along like you have tonight. The first step is just coming along. It's just actually attending, which you've all done. Come to a meetup, experience it. Some of you maybe will absolutely love it tonight. Others maybe you'll say, hey, it's not for me. No, that's absolutely fine. You've come along. So well done for that. The next step, really, for those who are committed, and we've said this is a journey and it's going to take at least 12 months, is to join the inner circle. And I'll share some details with you about that a little bit later on. And then attend a workshop. And we run 3 workshops this month: property, trading, and business. So if one of those is something that you particularly want to learn about more, if you've got some ideas about a business, you want to learn how to actually structure that, start making some money, or if you just want to start generating your first few £100 passive income a month, then come along to one of the business workshops. If it's property, then we've got a workshop later this month, and trading, which Zahir will share a bit about, then we've got a workshop coming up later in the month as well. And then we've got the Academy program. You've heard from some of the people here. That's for those that are really committed and really actually want to knuckle down and start really building the business. So enter the Escape Mentors. What I'm going to do here is invite our 3 mentors in the core areas of business, trading and property, just to share really a little bit about why each of these strategies can work, how it's worked for them and how it might work for you. There's no hard sell. The only thing I'm really going to push hard on you tonight is the commitment side of things. Is that if you really are serious about generating passive income, building a business, getting out of the 9 to 5 in the next 2 to 3 years, if you really, really are serious about that, it's the commitment. And the commitment really is just to keep coming along. There's not too many people that you can talk about this stuff to. So you can feel a bit lonely and isolated sometimes. So that's why it's so good to come along here. I'm going to invite up Rohit Santa, and Rohit will share for 15 minutes with you a little bit about property.
Thank you. So guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey, what I've been doing in property. Chris, you know, I met Chris at his very first meetup, and I said to Chris that year, I said, Chris, I'm going to escape my job as well this year. And I did it that year, so that was pretty good. But also, I then approached Chris. I said, Chris, you know, I like what you're doing here. Let's see if there's something that we can do together. And we hit it off from then, so it's been pretty good. So property, there's a lot of people that are interested in property here at the moment, people that are doing it already, which is very good. And I think when I speak to a lot of people, why they've got into it, it's mainly because they like the idea that it brings you passive income, that it grows, that they get financial freedom. But there's a whole other side to it, which a lot of people don't tell you about. And that's when you'll get the boilers that break down, probably around this time of year. You get tenants that are disturbing other tenants. Jacinth has had that experience. You'll get tenants not paying rent. You'll get tenants that just leave the property trashed. That's the not so good side of it. So whilst there's a very good upside to property, it's important to know what the downside is as well. And I think it's good to have that balanced approach, because people go in and say, I'm going to be a millionaire in property this year and I'm going to do it, leave my job. But it's not that straightforward. It can be done probably, but just to kind of get you into it, and mentally and emotionally, it's got to, you know, you've got to understand that. So I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad, by the way, so I was kind of getting into the mindset of, yeah, look, this is an asset class. You can actually get income from this and all of those things. So you can get quite emotional with properties, you get it. But when you get yourself out of the mindset of it being too emotional and actually just look at the facts, figures, and base your decisions on that, that actually becomes very useful. And that's what we did. So over time, I started buying some more. I've got some buy-to-lets and bought them across the UK. Actually, I've got properties in Scotland, Midlands. And since then, I've done a few HMO conversions. So for me, it was the next natural step. After I had a few tenancies, I thought, okay, what do we do now? You know, I learned enough about this part. Now, what do I do next? So we would buy a 4-bedroom house and do some conversion, make it into a 6-bedroom, get the license, turn it into a HMO. So once we had done a few of those, I actually then recently got into kind of doing the rent-to-rent. If anyone knows about how rent-to-rent works, yeah. Basically, the element is that you don't buy the property, you actually control the property, and you can control it in such a way that it gives you income, passive income. You still need to work once you've got the tenants in, there's some bits to do, but as you grow in that area, you can actually alleviate a lot of the tasks and leverage those. So the key thing for me in doing all of this is actually when I left my job and I thought I was becoming a property investor and all those things. Whilst it's property, I actually learned more about becoming an entrepreneur, and that's the key thing here, because the mindset of an entrepreneur is such that whatever happens, you'll find a way through, and whether it's property trading or whatever it is you've got to use that approach. It's just around property. It's about putting solutions on the page, finding deals, how to find them, how to monetize them so they work for you and bring you residual income, which a lot of people are interested in, and how you can actually work out a plan to say, okay, this is how many I will need in order to escape the rat race. This is what I need to do. You'll actually know that information by the end of leave. But I'll bring on next.
Here, actually.
Okay, so my name is Zahir. I've been trading since 2007. Anyone here trading? No, everyone's into property. Yeah, it's kind of normally the sort of percentage ratio. A lot of people look into property. I think a lot of people look into trading, but they don't really tell anyone because it's usually not going so well. Look, it's just a business opportunity. To give you a brief background of myself, I started in software engineering. I hated it. I then became an English teacher. It's good, no money in it. And then became a photographer. It's great. Hours are horrendous. Again, money's okay. It depends if you get good contracts. We had contracts with Coca-Cola, Audi, Tatler. So if you do get good contracts, then there's good money in it. But other than that, you're struggling because it's a digital medium now, and universities are churning out really talented individuals. So it becomes very saturated. I had a lot of money. I looked at property, too much work for me. I'm kind of lazy. I wanted something that I could do from home. Trading fit perfectly around that. Now, the thing about trading is that I'm assuming that you think I sit in front of my computer all day making money. Am I right? Yeah, laptop, day trading, that's the general idea, but it's nothing like that. Good trading is like investing. You want to look for opportunities that are low risk, hold for long periods of time, return you good money. That's trading. It's as simple as that. The markets do 3 things. Do I have a pen? Yeah, behind you. Yeah, great. Okay. So as a trader, I look at 4 markets now, actually, which you guys probably aren't surprised with. So FX, stocks, and commodities. But also now, I'm sure you guys all have heard cryptos, right? Okay. Now I've been playing around with cryptos in the last 2 months, and it's very interesting. It is very interesting, and I think it is something that's here to stay, but as a percentage of what I've invested, this is a tiny amount, but the returns are pretty astounding, if I'm honest with you. But ultimately, the markets do 3 things. The markets go up, the markets go down, the markets go sideways. As traders, what we want to be able to identify is where the 2 most profitable environments are. And that's why you need to have a portfolio across these 4 markets, because not all of these are actually trending. These markets here, whether they're going up or whether they're going down, these are called trends. And these are the most profitable environments. Now, a very simple way of me to explain this is if you look at investors, they want to buy something low and sell it high. That's the simple philosophy to good investing. However, as a trader, I can make money going the other way. So I can make money going up, which is to go long, or I can make money when the market's going down, which is to short the market. But often markets go sideways, and that's when we really should be doing nothing. So there can be periods of time where I don't make any money. but the returns that can be made in trending markets are pretty phenomenal. What you need to trade: good software, good education, and desire.
So I'm going to do the business one, okay? So let's get a couple of things in place. So first thing is this, all right? How many people here are going to make £1 million come into their bank account at some stage? See, you see all the people like the Grace with the folded arms, yeah? You got to start believing that. £1 million, okay? All right? You got to say that is possible for me. Some people have a mindset of it's not, they don't deserve it, or what have I got to do, right? But you've got to figure that out. That's the easy bit, right? Now, what I'm going to try to help you understand, right, is the different ways that that can happen, all right? So £1 million is going to come to you in some shape or form, yeah? As long as you're healthy and you've got some level of education, yeah? Okay? Now, here is the thing that you have to understand is first thing I want all you guys to do is think, what resources do you have? Okay? Because you're all looking at potentially starting a business, yeah? Okay? So, here's what I'm going to do, because we've got a small amount of time. You only have 4 resources, right, that you can invest into your future venture. Okay? Anyone want to tell me what those are? Time? Yeah? Money?
Knowledge, skills.
Knowledge? People? Okay. You as an individual, you as a CEO, you as the entrepreneur, right, have 4 resources. Time, money, right, energy, okay, and emotion. Now, here is what I find. Most people, right, don't know how to invest these resources. So we always start with, tell me how you're going to manage your resources, because number one thing that you've got to do is know how you're going to allocate those resources. They're the only ways you are ever going to get that £1 million to come into your bank account. Now, here is why most people, right, never escape the rat race, because they get stuck here in the 99%. Okay? First thing I tell people is you're going to have 2,000 hours, right? What you need to do is take the sacrifice of taking some of that out of here in the doing and invest it in these. Okay? Now, most people don't know performance, right? They certainly don't know systems, right? And they don't know asset ownerships. The skill, that's what you're going to work on. Okay? That is what you need to learn to become an entrepreneur, right? Which is not in the arena that you're used to, which is time for money. Do you see? Yeah? So remember, you're going to make £1 million, right? Just the slowest way is going to be the time for money. Yeah? Depending on how much time you have and the rate. Okay? If you've got a couple of good ideas, you can borrow, in your analogy, you can have 4 cars.
Well, that's where compounding comes in.
Exactly.
So if my car's gone down over 2 months and I'm away for another 2 months, you'll go source another Mercedes at £80,000, wait for that to come down to £60,000 while I'm away. You give my car back to me, you've made 40k. The other car, you give it back and you make 20k, so you made 60k. So that's where the compound effect comes in.
Obviously, you've got to know at that point that it is going down.
That's the risk element.
Yeah.
Your 20k or the 100k that you've spent to buy my car, that should be no more than a certain percentage of what you've got.
Normally we're downstairs, so we'll be back down there next month. That's Escape the Rat Race 32, and my guest speaker next month is Graham Price. So Graham, would you mind introducing yourself? And a round of applause for Graham, just to give him a welcome.
There you go. Okay, so hi everyone.
Just a couple of minutes about what you'll be speaking about next month.
Okay, so basically I'm a psychologist. I do a lot of work in the area of psychology and development training, in helping people to change all sorts of things in their lives. And I wouldn't say I'm the cleverest person in the world, okay? I didn't go to Oxbridge, I didn't get a first in my degree, but I consider I'm one of the luckiest people in the world, and luck counts for a lot in life. And I met somebody when I was quite a lot younger than I am now, who told me the thing I'm going to be talking about next month, which is how to create a powerful mindset. I'd never heard it before, I put it into practice, my life changed dramatically as a result. In fact, if I take that one thing that I was taught early in my life, and all the other skills and abilities and stuff that have contributed to me having a very successful life and being a good psychologist and so on, Which one of those two things do you think has had the biggest impact on my success and my enjoyment and my abilities generally in life? The mindset or everything else put together? Absolutely. In fact, Christian mentioned it earlier on today. Mindset is so valuable, so important. Everyone should know how to create a powerful mindset. It's the single thing which will have the biggest impact in your life. That's what I'm going to be talking about. That's what I'm going to be telling you about next month.
Thanks, Graham. Thank you. Okay, so that's it, folks. I hope you all had a very good evening, and please do hang around, network, say hello to anyone else that caught your eye tonight. And
Before we finish, I've got to give the leader a round of applause.
look at that.
See, look, 8:30. Start on time, finish on time.